Hi, this is Luke Zipp from Crocker Farm Auction, and I'm here with an exciting new discovery of early American stoneware that we will be offering in our March 23rd, 2019 Stoneware and Redware auction. So as you can see, it's a keg-formed or barrel-formed water cooler or beverage cooler with cobalt highlighted bands. So it's wheel thrown. These bands are just embellished by the potter as it's spinning on the wheel. And then what really makes this piece exciting is it's decorated with an incised fish. So if you're not familiar, incising is the potter would take a needle tool and actually carve the decoration in the clay. It allows for more detail than brush, obviously. And then they would fill it in with cobalt oxide. But it's an awesome fish with great movement, personality, flow, a lot of life to it, and fills really this whole section, this whole band of the keg. And then this band is filled with a beautiful incised flower. And this decorator had great use of both negative space and cobalt oxide to really present an artistic rendering of the image. And it's a cool keg. It has great presence. I mean, this fish is one of the largest incised fishes that I've ever seen. And like I said, it's a new discovery, recently surfaced in the Midwest of all places. But what's really cool is, in addition to the fact that it's just a beautiful example of American stoneware, is that it stands among a body of work that is some of the most significant, interesting, beautiful examples of early American stoneware in private and public collections, and that is Albany, New York, kegs with incised fish. And I know that's like, really narrowing down on a small group, but of the great pieces that we have sold in the past, the highlights, we've sold two outstanding Albany barrel form beverage coolers with incised fish on them. One was in 2009. I remember that was our first six-figure piece. It was assigned Boynton keg for the pottery of Jonah and Calvin Boynton in Albany from the late 18 teens period. And that had incised fish and birds on it and inscribed Albany. And then we sold in I believe that was 2014, we sold a Tyler and Dillon Albany keg with that was inscribed Brandy. So again, these coolers weren't just made for water, they were made for beverages, usually alcoholic beverages. And then it had a large, free-flowing, artistically done incised fish on it. There are also examples in museums that are extremely legendary. There's a Paul Cushman keg with incised fish in the Albany Institute. There's also an M. Tyler, or Moses Tyler keg with incised fish decoration inscribed H. Gin for Holland Gin in the Smithsonian Institute. Some legendary pieces in keg form with incised fish. And really what's interesting is these potters, so in Albany, around 18 teens, they were starting to take the torch for great New York State stoneware production from Manhattan. Manhattan was kind of on the wane by then, and their influence was spreading far beyond. So up the Hudson River, potteries in Albany, New York were really making great Manhattan-style stoneware with their own local flair, with great bold incised decorations sometimes on them. Some are just normal, plain, or lightly decorated. But the beverage cooler, for brandy, for gin, for water, wasn't just a common utilitarian vessel. It was stoneware, but used in public places, often in a hotel, tavern, or a public place in the home, where people would gather around it. So it was really a vehicle for potters to heavily decorate and really make their best examples. And so these potters in Albany, I think, really settled on this barrel form cooler and often decorated it appropriately with graphic decorations. And for Albany, New York, fishing and fish were such an integral part of their lifestyle, with the Hudson River flowing right through the town. Sturgeon were extremely prevalent back then. They were called Albany beef. These large sturgeon, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 feet long, were caught right in Albany. And so, fish is just a logical decorative motif for the fanciest, most public examples of stoneware made in that town during this period. So this cooler really tells the story of those potters in Albany, New York, of what they considered kind of the height of their production, their best examples during this period where this was made. This was probably made in Albany, New York, late 18 teens, around there, very quite possibly at the pottery of Jonah and Calvin Boynton, like that first six-figure piece that we ever sold back in 2009. It's just an outstanding new discovery, and it survives in excellent condition. It really would make a great addition to a public or private collection of American stoneware, and we are thrilled to offer it in our March 23rd, 2019 Stoneware and Redwood auction.